I'm Kenny from Pro Tool Reviews, and today I want to talk about one of the tools that we use a lot in the field whenever we're cutting corrugated metal or metal roofing, that kind of stuff. It's the nibbler. We're actually using the Trumpf TruTool N160 lithium-ion. It's a cordless model, and what we see a lot of people doing in the field is they're using grinders, jigsaws, reciprocating saws, metal cutting saws, even power cutters. And a lot of it is because these tools are now cordless, or in the case of the power cutter, you've got gas and cordless options. But the nibbler is just now starting to go that direction. So we're going to take this 12-volt Trumpf nibbler and see how it compares to some of these big 36-volt, 18-volt tools, and just see if we can do a better job. All right, so to start, we're just going to do a straight cut. We're going to try to follow the cut line that we've got in here. We'll start with the jigsaw, and we've got a metal blade, orbital actions off on this. Let's just see if we can follow it well. All right, so same thing, and let's take a look at what happens if we use a reciprocating saw. All right, not too bad, not great. And then let's go to a grinder. This is probably one of the more popular ways of cutting that we see in the field. Right, lots of sparks. That one actually looked a bit straighter than the others. And then let's wrap up with our nibbler here. Yeah, I'm gonna switch sides and push this away from me. It's a little bit different cutting action on this. All right, moved off a little bit at the end. All right, so let's kind of unpack what each of these saws did. Now we started with the jigsaw, and it actually did a pretty good job of allowing me to follow the cut line. But what I ran into was as I would come up and down through the grooves here, I would really start to drift. The blade would wobble on me a little bit, and I was drifting left. And so following the cut line wasn't terribly easy. There wasn't a ton of vibration in this. This was definitely the right blade for the job. It was just a little bit difficult to make a really accurate cut. And then same thing with the reciprocating saw. A little bit of blade wobble left me wandering some. And even though this has a pivoting shoe on the front, as that would get into the valleys here in our material. I had a hard time maintaining good contact, and that was adding some extra vibration to the cut. And then just the angle I was having to try and work it and still see my cut line, that was a challenge for sure, especially, like I said, in that valley, it was losing contact and losing my sight line. The grinder did a pretty good job. This is a 6-inch grinder wheel that we've got on here, and it tracked really well. It left a better edge. The biggest issue with this was really just the amount of sparks that it was throwing. It was really hard to accurately follow that line. And then with the nibbler, what was really nice about it is because I was able to turn this 90 degrees, I was able to really work up and down with the material, waving along with it as I went. It sounded a lot quieter than the other ones. It left a nice edge. And you can't see right here on the end, I did wander a little bit on the back end of my cut, but my visibility was a lot better and I was able to track it pretty well. So that's one type of cut that we're looking at. Let's move on to a couple of different types of cutouts that we might come across in material like this instead of just being able to cut the whole thing off. All right, so we've got a little bit different material here. It's got some higher ridges on it. And we're going to just take a look and see what some of the limitations are as far as the depth of cut of some of these tools. So we'll start with the jigsaw again and just see if it can complete the cut. So you can see there, as I go into this valley, I'm totally losing my sight line because of the distance between where the blade's actually cutting and the shoe's in my way. And as I tried to come back up, the blade came out, popped against this. I could probably finish this cut and get away with it, but clearly not ideal. Let's see if the reset saw does any better. Of course, an advantage here is that you can get longer blades with a reciprocating saw than you would other types of jigsaws. So let's see what happens. We'll start over here and kind of pull cut toward us. All right, we made the cut. It's actually a lot straighter than I thought it was going to be, but clearly coming up these ridges, introducing a lot of vibration. The teeth are actually trying to grab a hold and doing some funky stuff. The worst part about that was just how much vibration was in that we were actually shaking some stuff off the table, which isn't cool. So again, this is capable. You can do it. It's not something that I really want to be working with if I can avoid it. Now, see if we can do the grinder. Now this is a 6-inch grinder, 6-inch grinder wheel. We've used it a little bit so we know that some of the materials come off, but let's see if it's able to maintain the depth going through there. All right, barely made it through that. Again, good straight cut. The grinder's really good at tracking through this compared to some of the other tools that we've been using. A lot of sparks, sight line's kind of hard to follow. We get a decent cut, and again, so that's good. But again, the 6-inch grinder. If you've only got a 4.5, 5-inch grinder, you're not going to make this cut. So finally, let's wrap it up with our nibbler. And let me switch sides with you here. All right, so let's grab our nibbler, and we've got it turned 90 degrees so that we can go with the peaks and curves and see if this is a better solution. Yeah, so if I had a cut line on here, it would have definitely been easier to follow. I was clearly moving a little bit as I made that cut. But some vibration, not nearly as much as the reciprocating saw. No sparks being thrown around on that. I was able to just kind of ease in and out of each peak and valley, so that made it easy. And even there's enough, so little vibration and relative torque or anything like that in here that I really could just take one hand off to help me if my hand was getting in the way into these. So the grinder had some great advantages here in its speed and its tracking, but the nibbler, I still like that better for its noise reduction, no sparks, and better visibility on that. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple different other types. So we've got kind of a curved cutout that we need to make here. But on top of that, we don't have the advantage of this material being clamped down. So we're cutting it in the field, and we've got to use one hand to cut, and we've got to use one hand to secure the material. So let's just see what kind of characteristics we get out of this. And I mean, I can already see, starting with this jigsaw, I'm having to come in at an angle. We'll see if I can even make that curve. Ooh, hey, look at that. All right, so trying to come in at these weird angles and stuff like this, the blade actually jumped out of the track on this saw. So it was going to be capable of finishing off that cut, but it's not something I really want to do. I was fighting it a lot, trying to make that happen. And even looking at the blade here, I mean, it's bent now. So how useful it's going to be is pretty debatable. All right, so let's try the nibbler again. I got to use one hand to cut, and I've got to use the other hand to secure my material on this. So here we go. All right, so just a little bit of cleanup I need to do right there where I had a little trouble getting in, and it took a second to get that turn. It was a little bit tighter of a turn than it wanted to do on its own, but I was able to make it, and this is a reasonable curve. It was clearly able to do the cut. I could cut with one hand, hold the material with the other, and I mean this particular tool, as a 12-volt tool, 10.8-volt tool, is it's lightweight enough that you can make those kinds of turns, really work your arm around, and of course, if I'm not trying to show all this on camera, I could actually physically move from side to side to make a cleaner cut if I wanted to. But as far as making that curved cutout goes, clearly the nibbler is going to be your best option there. All right, so one last cut I want to take a look at is when you need to do a complete cutout. Now, a nibbler is not capable of doing any kind of plunge cut. So I actually attempted to draw a circle here. It kind of looked more like a strawberry, so we're just going to own it. But let me show you how you're going to make that cut. Now, you're going to start with, the easiest way to do it is with a step bit. Just make sure that you cut to the inside of your hole so that you don't take out any material that you're trying to keep. And then okay, nice fast step bit there. Love that smell of oil. And once you've got that going, now you've got an access point, and you can work the nibbler around. I'm going to once again change my angle here because I can, and it's going to be a little easier this way. Or I can take it all off. All right. So let's get in here. All right, now we have a beautiful strawberry shaped hole here. All right, so obviously there's a lot of different ways that you can cut metal, corrugated metal roofing, that kind of thing, and some are better than others. Now, what I really like about the nibbler, why we use it instead of some of these other ideas, is just simply You've got no sparks that you're worried about. It does cut very, very quickly, and you can follow an edge well. It's just a great tool. It's the right tool for cutting this kind of thing. You're trying to do a recip saw or a jigsaw, and you're getting into a tool that's really not designed to do that. The grinder works well, but it is limited. So anyway, if you have any questions about that, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you like this particular nibbler, it is the TruTool 160 lithium ion, and it is from a company called Trumpf who makes these. And this kit does come with 2 of these 12-volt batteries. So, as always, thanks for watching. I'm Kenny. We'll catch you later.
Hey, help us out by subscribing to the channel below and tap that bell to get notified when we post new tool reviews and shootouts. And as always, thanks for watching.